On today's wrestling news, we've got all the details on Vince McMahon's new company.
Abadon is departing AEW.
MVP has zero respect for Triple H.
And Harley Cameron was injured at Double or Nothing.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news times? My name is Phil Chambers. I'm joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling. But first up, Vince McMahon. He got a new company, obviously. So this is all coming from WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston, excellent reporter guy, who has sort of uncovered a lot of details about it. So basically, he established 3 new entities in August last year, all called 14th and I, but with an extra little bit at the end. So it's 14th and I Holdings, 14th and I Investments, 14th and I Management, 3 separate companies, all based in the same place in Stamford, Connecticut, and likely 3 separate companies to keep all of the kind of business practices and all the different assets kind of separate from each other. So if one fails, it doesn't take the rest of them down, etc. He's also filed a trademark for the name 14th and I in a couple of different iterations. And it seems like the name comes from the headquarters for Capital Wrestling, which was his father's company in Washington, D.C., which was on the corner of 14th and I. There you go. That's where the name comes. So Brad Bird is listed as the president for these companies, and he is a former WWE executive and long-time Vince McMahon sort of collaborator. On his LinkedIn page, it has a little bit of info about the company. It just says, 14th and I is a private investment firm focused on the sports, media, and entertainment sectors. We are a disciplined, flexible, long-term capital and strategic partner, primarily targeting buyouts, majority deals, as well as selective growth-oriented minority investments. We seek to partner with and empower exceptional management teams providing deep expertise, capability, and relationships to help drive significant long-term value. Business words. Business. So that's what they do, obviously, nice and clear there. There have obviously been previous reports about Vince McMahon setting up new companies and starting up new things. Previously reported that he was developing and that he was going to create a place that develops and produces film and television productions. And then in January this year, Conrad Thompson said that Vince McMahon had bought a studio and was building a talent roster. Now, on the company's pages, it's listed to have between 11 to 50 members at this point. So not sure how staffed up he is or how ready he is to get going on these things. But this is kind of what he's been up to while he's been, investigated for sex trafficking and things. So he's still out there, he's still at it, still no firm details on sort of exactly what these companies are going to do, apart from all that business jargon in the LinkedIn page. Yeah, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, big week for news of Vince's re-emergence into the business world, I guess. There was all that conversation about him potentially wanting to buy back WWE. Maybe there's been words traveling around. Probably
he's already liquidated $1.5 billion worth of his stock. I think he still has $1.2 billion worth of stock in WWE, but sort of TKO itself is valued at $30 billion, I think.
Crazy money.
So I doubt he's going to have enough money on his own. He's going to need some hefty pockets to go along with it if that's going to happen.
So yeah, it's one of those just to keep your eye on right now. I mean, I'm not going to confess to know pretty much anything about business, but it does just seem like he's trying to get himself back into that world. He seems like a person who doesn't like to sit still, really. We've learned that over the years, so he's making moves, but yeah, hopefully this doesn't fully distract the average person away from the real serious horrible things that are going on right now as well that he's being accused of and all that. And let's keep the focus on that as well. Don't just ignore that just because he's making moves in the business world as well. Coming back into the wrestling rosters right now, I don't know how to kind of pull away from that, so I'm just going to improvise and do what we can. So Abadon is somebody who's been a part of AEW for a long while, maybe since the beginning. He's trying to think. It was very early on, pretty close to the beginning. Yeah, Abadon is now going to be leaving AEW. That's after 5 years with the company, and that was confirmed yesterday. Abadon went on Instagram and posted on the stories bit. They revealed that their AEW contract will not be renewed when it expires in June. So tomorrow. Time, it's just a blur to me. So they put a thing, a full quote on there, so I'm just going to go into it and just say it all word for word. So my time with AEW is coming to an end. My contract expires in June and I will not be renewed. The emotions I'm currently trying to manage are incredibly difficult and full of conflict as I reflect on my time there. My goal is to not let this be it for me because I love wrestling too much to just stop. I've put in a lot of hard work that I will now be able to showcase more often. While my heart is currently broken, you can bet that I'm still going to show up for training next week. You'll love to see that. Love that energy. If you're looking to book me, please send an email to bookabadonhere@gmail.com. Thank you. I'm just going to promote that here. So if you're looking to book Abadon, go and book Abadon. Used to absolutely terrify me whenever they appeared on screen in AEW because I'm a chicken. Even though I do a lot of WhatCulture horror stuff, I still get terrified by creepy, scary stuff, and Abadon was frightening. And in terms of those kind of characters within the wrestling sphere, there's not many that do genuinely scare the life out of you when they pop up on screen, but Abadon committed wholeheartedly every time they appeared. So I really do wish them all the best, and I just want great things for them.
I ditto all of that. Never really had sort of a huge spotlight shine on them in AEW, but like you say, been there for sort of a really long time, like a much longer than you think, like just sort of there in the background all the time.
Made the most of the moments as well when the spotlight was there. You definitely remembered it. Do you know what I mean? You were like, whoa, really took the moment.
Just all the best to Abadon. Hopefully she gets picked up somewhere, and we see some great things from her in the future. Let us know down in the comments below where you want to see her end up. So moving over to MVP. Speaking of AEW, sort of, he has been speaking to Bet Ideas. So there's a little bit of backstory behind this that we need to get through first. So last year, MVP made some comments on Instagram about how Triple H chose not to reunite the Hurt Business in WWE and sort of didn't really push Bobby Lashley very well. He also liked a comment of someone that said the Triple H era is emasculating black men, which led people to believe that he'd sort of called him racist, but he didn't actually call him racist at all. And he at the time clarified that just by saying, I don't know that he is, and I don't know what his motivations are, but I never said he was racist. So he's been talking to Bet Ideas, like I say, and this thing came up again in the conversation, and he was asked about how he thinks Triple H views talent of colour. And I've just got a quote from MVP because I'm just going to read it out because that's much easier. He just says, let's just say this. Bobby Lashley was a 2-time WWE champion, and after Triple H took over, Bobby Lashley was reduced to the mid-card. What I said specifically in response to the person on my Instagram page was that you see it. It's my opinion of how he chooses to book certain talents. Some people say all the time that, oh, MVP's just griping, MVP's just crying. Okay, well, just watch the program. Who were the people in the top spots under his leadership? Who were given the opportunities? And I'm not talking about NXT, I'm talking about the main show. I have my opinions based on my personal experiences, and at some point on my podcast, on my YouTube show, I'll talk about it and go in depth about what my issues are with that man. And he says a little bit more and comes back to it. And there's the final little bit of it, basically. He says, and I'll be honest with you, my issues with him have nothing to do with race. My issues have to do with him as a person and our personal interactions and things he said and did that caused me to have zero respect for him. But I'll get into that on my show, Marking Out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze. So a huge plug for his show there, and a massive dangling carrot. But come listen and I'll tell you everything.
He's got my attention. I'm with that. Happy watching.
Got attention. He knows what he's doing, this old MVP. But very interesting comments about sort of Triple H and his leadership within WWE.
Yeah, this, like you said, this was something that sort of bubbled up last year, and a lot of us were thinking, what's going on here? This is nothing's been explicitly said, but things were being suggested and everything else. And it was clear that it didn't seem like Bobby Lashley was somebody that was seen as somebody who could be a top player under that new regime.
Yeah,
he was nudged to one side really and put alongside the Street Profits, and I think they were trying to make him a heel group at one point, and everyone just went, no, they're really fun, we like them all together, let's just cheer.
Look how cool they are, we don't want to boo them.
It's very similar to with the Hurt Syndicate in a way. It was they could be horrible badass heels, all the rest of it, but people think they're really cool, so they're going to cheer. It's just Bobby Lashley's got such a connection with the audience. It is one of those things where if you just try and fight it, people are going to reject it, and it's just going to at least AEW is somewhat going with it. Do you know what I mean? They've embraced it in a way. So yeah, it is one of those fascinating things that I can't wait to hear more about on MVP's side of it. I don't think we'll hear much from Triple H's side of it in the future, Paul Levesque's side of it, but it's I'm very curious. He's got our attention, like you said. He knows what he's doing. Our MVP, he's been around the block a few times. He knows how to lure you in with promise of a good story. So we'll be there. We'll be listening to that. Something. Sticking within the AEW sphere, I guess, with MVP being a part of the Hurt Syndicate in AEW, we've got news here of somebody who was injured at Double or Nothing, and it looks like they're going to be taking some time off now. So Brian Alvarez, obviously of the Wrestling Observer and all the rest of it, they have mentioned, they've revealed that the Harley Cameron was injured at Double or Nothing, and that was in that match that she was alongside Anna Jay taking on Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, and obviously they had another match on Dynamite that was the no DQ version of that, and then she busted her nose up. It looked like she'd broken her nose and all the rest of it, but that was actually just an angle. It wasn't real blood, but that was done to set up the fact that she's going to be off screen for a while, so it was an injury angle. It was really well done. When I was watching it, I was this does look a bit, ooh, wow, but then I think the blood did look a bit funny when you kind of lingered on it a bit too much, but in the moment I was oh my goodness, that's horrible, but really well done by everyone involved there. I love being fooled. So no details on the exact injury, so the actual injury, not the fake busted nose. There's no real details on that right now, or how long she's going to be gone right now. That's not been revealed. That's not been said to Brian Alvarez, at least. But Harley Cameron is someone who, again, we're speaking to people who make the most of the minutes that they get on screen. She is someone that's definitely done that over the last year or so now. Become a real fan favourite whenever she pops up on screen. She's just so entertaining, so fun. So I really hope it isn't something super serious where she's going to be off for a long time and that momentum maybe gets derailed. I don't think it will. Even if she's off screen for a little bit, people are just going to want to see her again, and she might get a massive pop when she does return. We don't know how long she's going to be away. It could be a month, could be 2 months, could be longer than that. I hope it's not too long, because I don't like seeing anybody on the bench on the sidelines for too long.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, big get well soon. It's a shame. Like you say, she's been absolutely maximising her minutes. She's been one of the most entertaining things on AEW for a while now. Whenever she pops up in backstage segments or promos or whatever, she's always super entertaining. And yeah, has just got herself over massively just by being really entertaining, which is the best way of doing it, let's face it. So yeah, wish her all the best. Hope she gets well soon and gets back on TV where she belongs.
Yeah,
definitely. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. If you want, you can follow me on all the social medias at Fill My Chambers, and you can follow this guy over here.
Also on all the social medias at gmorgan04, but technically not all on that, because I'm on at Gareth Morgram on Instagram. Took a while to remember that one.
Make it easy, can you?
I don't. I'm a waffler. So then they've also got a personal training one within that Instagram account. So it's at fitness.focus.gm if you want to see muscles and me in a vest more often. Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Vest content.
Click the video on the screen, continue your YouTube journey, and have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye-bye.